And the stage is yours. Welcome again.
Thank you, Nico. So happy that you are able to help me on this. And thank you all for the organizers for inviting me to be able to join you for this very important launch today. As you've kindly said, I will present how daylight and daylight requirements are changing the professional world. And if you go to our next slide. Just to say a little bit about who we are, the VELUX Group or the VELUX company is a industrial company producing roof windows, and our main focus is of course to provide access to daylight and fresh air in people's living environments. We would like to do that by a sustainable solution, both for the buildings and for the people. So that's some of our key focus, and we try to do that with a lot of different initiatives. And one of the things we find very important is that, and that's also illustrated in the next slide, is that we are spending almost all our time indoors, and in the last few years we know that we have spent quite a lot of time indoors, but we know that our time indoors is of course important, and we do that in where we live and where we play and where we go to school and where we sleep. So it's workplaces, schools, and other public places. And our homes is also the place where we do quite a lot of our time spent indoors, and also when we're working from home. As you can see in the lower corner, it's a campaign that you could Google. It's called the VELUX Indoor Generation. And where we announce what you could do and what you should do to change the situation, or what kind of solution you can do to change the situation you are at home. Next, please. And why is this important? Back in 2019, when we also were allowed to meet in public, where we hosted this Healthy Buildings Day, where Joseph Allen had this famous quote: "Your building design is more important to your health than your doctor." So it's important that you consider the building and how it affects us as people, and that is of course done by legislation and standards around in the world. Next, please. Some of the things we do, and we do it every year. So, and we will soon publish something in 2022, and you can see 2021 is missing. But anyway, is what we call the Healthy Homes Barometer. It is taking a pulse on European homes and buildings, and to examine how we can do and what we can do to improve the health of people, and how that is beneficial for individuals and the society and the planet, of course. We've done this in 2015 and 16 by a questionnaire survey among Europeans, but in the last 3 barometers, we've done it through using statistical data from the Eurostat Silk, which is a survey on income and living condition, to show how the correlation is between the health of the inhabitants and the building states. As I said, we were expected to launch it in 2021, but we needed to postpone it a little bit to this year. Next, please. Back in 15 and 16, where we did our questionnaires, we asked them if you want to rank different indoor climate parameters, what is the important things to rank? And we can see that daylight and fresh air is the most or second most important things to health. But interestingly is also to say that, you know, if when we asked do you feel that you are too much in the need to have the electric lights turned on? Most of the people say, or quite a lot of people say that yes, we do have a need to turn the light on, even if there's daylight outside, and they feel it's a little bit too dependent. But they also find it that the indoor light levels is actually satisfactory. So there is a gap here between what we think is needed, what we think we should do, and what should be the level of daylight in our homes. Next, please. So we took it a step further. We looked at some of the key indoor climate parameters where we know something is a challenge, and that is, of course, to keep our homes warm. We can have a leaky roof or dampness or mold and dampness in our homes. We can have challenges with overheating, or we can have a lack of daylight. So this is the share of Europeans across all European markets to say that, you know, there is a challenge with all these four parameters, and these are of course in our existing building stock. So and that's why I raised the question: should we focus on what we do with the existing building stocks, because we need to do something with it, because it will continue to stand here for a long time, and how can we learn from the existing building stock into new buildings? Everything in relation to how can we make a healthy and healthy buildings. But anyway, as you can see, there is quite a big substantial numbers of buildings that has a challenge, and of course that is varies across the different European countries. So next, please. So what we did in the 2019 was, of course, what happens when we have our children is living in our how can I say, unhealthy homes. And we can see that 1 out of 3 children in Europe are living in unhealthy homes. And this is approximately 26 million children. So it's a huge impact of the children across. Then we looked at the number of children that experience damp, darkness, cold, and temperature. Again, quite a lot of children. And how does this affect what we called healthy life years, or we use the term from WHO, the DALY, which is the disability adjusted life years. So if we do not do anything with our buildings, and the buildings have some unhealthy issues, we will actually reduce what we can call healthy life years of our expected life over that we have. So we need to do something with the existing building stocks, and we need to make our new buildings even better. Next, please. So one thing is our buildings where we sleep and we're at home, but we also have an issue with our schools. If we have challenges at home, we also have challenges in our schools, which have an impact on how many children that actually miss school days due to their own home where they are. So we need to do something with it, and because there is, of course, a challenge. But we can also do something with our schools. And if we do something with the light and the air in our schools, we can see a big impact on helping our children to have a better performance. So that's some of the challenges we have, and some of the hopes we can have, because they are the future for the next generation. Next, please. But we are not the only one that is looking at it. If you take, for example, World Green Building Council, they have a guide to what should be a healthy home and a healthy planet. And that's kind of looking at it from a kind of a holistic perspective. So you can say a sustainable home and workplace is healthy and designed energy efficient, and of course to minimize the challenge we are heading in front of us with climate and environmental challenges. And one of the things we know and what we learn is, of course, we know that the lack of daylight has a direct impact on our health and well-being. And as of no surprise, one of the things we recommend is, of course, higher levels than currently used in buildings are desirable, and it has a scope, of course, for energy savings. And even further is that we also, in the last 20 years, also learned the impact on light and daylight on our health and well-being. So there is a goal for us to drive towards higher levels of daylight in buildings. But unfortunately, there is a lot of different interests, so it's not that easy. But at least that should be the goal from as you go for a building design, that you do something with the daylight levels and not trying to reduce them, but have a better distribution and higher levels in a way. Next, please. So all this is something we do within the VELUX company, and this year we did kind of a hybrid solution. We call it Build for Life conference, where we have two stages, one for the Build for Life and the other one was the Daylight Symposium. What surprised us a little bit was that it was drew a strong viewership across the globe. We had more than 24,000 viewers, unique viewers from 170 countries. So that was exaggerating our expectation. But as you can see, the majority were architects and students, and which we really find important that we can share all the good information and all the important information for us to the public of architects and students. Next, please. And just to mention some of it is that at the Daylight Symposium, we had 7 themes. We talked about light and health. We looked at computational design and how daylight is applied in architecture. Of course, we had to take a dive into the pandemics and glare and contact the outdoors, and not at least the daylight education, where we're so lucky that two of the initiatives from NLITED presented the NLITED project for the audience at this place. So if you want to see it and if you like to see it, you are able to go on Vimeo and then just type in the Build for Life. Then you have more than 50 hours of presentations, and you can take a deep dive into the different sections. In addition to that, next please. In addition to that, we think that it's very important to do something with the students, and we can do something like we do with our international VELUX Award for architect students, or what we just launched is called a RIVA competition for healthy homes design competition to inspire young engineers to make innovative solutions for future homes. But on top of that, we do what we call the Daylight Academic Forum. And this is a forum for PhD students. It was established back in 2010 and first launched in 2011. And in between years, so what you can see here is our VELUX Academic Forum, but in between years, we have the Luminate. And I would expect that we have had more than 200 PhD students across these years. Some of them is present at today. But this is a place where we have PhD students sharing their knowledge, sharing their research, and discuss this with fellow students and also as a set of experts. So we do that every year. And if you are a PhD student and you would like to join in, I can only recommend it. You should type in Luminate and 2022, and you will be able to see that will happen. I expect in the autumn this year. Next, please. And that's just for saying. I would like to wrap it up with my talk with the presentation by Kevin van der Meijlenburg, who had a very nice end of the Daylight Symposium, where he reflects on the Daylight Symposium, but also the importance of daylight in itself. Hope the sound works.
And finally, I'll just say the Daylight Symposium had moments that were incredibly detailed and analytical, and then pulling back to inspirational and ephemeral. We had multi-scalar, right? We went from microbes to metropolis. We spanned the globe from the Arctics to the equator, from the Asias to the Americas. We had poetry, we had parametrics.